One moment. I have to buzz you in.
I got it. Thanks.
My name is Wanda. I am Vision's wife. I stormed into that research facility, furious, because Thanos killed my husband, and his body was taken and held by the head of S-Steward. They even dismembered him, planning to turn his remains into money. When I saw my husband torn apart, my heart completely broke. Everyone was on full alert, but not a single person dared to step forward. Standing in front of my lifeless husband, I tried one last time to bring him back, but nothing happened.
I can't feel you.
I knew then that the vision after death no longer belonged to me, so I left. Alone. Back in the car, I looked at the last thing my husband left. That's when I made a bold decision. I drove to Westview, the place where Vision and I planned to grow old together. Now, I was the only one left. The heart drawn on the house blueprint became the final straw that broke me. I decided to use my power to build a world that belonged only to Vision and me. Scarlet magic began to spread wildly outward. Everything it touched was rewritten into a 1950s-style world. In no time, the entire town of Westview was covered. I not only rebuilt the house Vision and I designed together, I even planned to use magic to revive the dead Vision. Even though the massive energy drain caused me unbearable pain, I refused to give up, and finally, I succeeded. Watching Vision slowly stand up and looking at this black and white world, I was overwhelmed with joy. I immediately stepped into it. I chose to live in this special world, to fulfill our promise to grow old together.
Wanda, welcome home.
But the world I changed was completely cut off from the outside. Everyone inside had their minds controlled by me, forced to play a role in a romantic love story. A broken man who once resold secondhand pianos became a famous pianist. A lonely old man suddenly had a companion. Everyone's life was completely changed in this black and white world, and so was mine. I lived an ordinary married life with my resurrected husband, but this peace didn't last long. Soon, I heard a strange voice coming from the radio, as if someone was desperately calling my name.
Wanda! Wanda! Who's doing this to you, Wanda?
Then I saw a colorful helicopter with a strange symbol hidden in the bushes. It clearly didn't belong in my world. On my way home, I saw a strange man crawl out of a sewer. He had the same symbol on his back. Everything felt wrong, but I didn't pay much attention. As soon as I got home, I said I wanted to have a baby with my husband. The moment I said it, my stomach began to swell rapidly. Right after that, the black and white world started to gain color. We were shocked and delighted. Even stranger, the next day, my pregnancy was already 9 months along.
This is a real one.
What?
I thought you said Friday afternoon.
I didn't consider that the timings between developmental benchmarks could be quite random.
After I calmed Vision down, everything seemed to settle. But suddenly,
Darling, do you think it's time to
Call the doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, dear. Damn, the phones are down too. I better run.
Vision rushed out to find a doctor, but the baby inside me couldn't wait. With the help of my neighbor Monica, I finally gave birth to twin sons. Looking at my children, I thought of my own twin brother, but one sentence from Monica instantly frightened me.
He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
People inside the illusion are supposed to lose all memories of the outside world, but Monica clearly hadn't. Then I noticed the strange necklace around her neck. It was the same SWORD symbol I had seen so many times before. Clearly, Monica wasn't a friendly neighbor. She was an undercover agent sent by SWORD. But they still wouldn't stop. They sent a drone trying to talk to me, and even attempted to kill me.
Take the shot.
That completely enraged me. I picked up the destroyed drone and walked straight out of the illusion.
This will be your only warning. Stay out of my home. You don't bother me, I won't bother you.
I wish it could be that simple.
Will ever take it from me again.
I gathered scarlet magic in my hands and instantly took control of every soldier. Then I forced them to turn their guns on Director Hayward.
Stand down!
He was terrified, but I didn't hurt anyone. I just wanted him to know, don't ever cross me again. I tore open the barrier and walked back into my world. When I got home, I saw something impossible. My children were growing up right in front of my eyes. From birth until now, only one day had passed, yet they already had powers. My older son had my chaos magic. My younger son had his uncle's super speed. Soon, Halloween arrived. Our whole family dressed up for the holiday. Vision even changed his color to better match mine. The kids ran wild through the town with Quicksilver. At that moment, moment, our entire family was immersed in the joy of the celebration. However, Vision quietly walked alone to the edge of West because he noticed something wasn't right. The farther he went toward the outskirts, the stranger the residents became. They kept repeating the same movements over and over again, and if you looked closely, you could even see tears at the corners of their eyes. As for the people living at the very edge of town, they were completely frozen in place, unable to move at all. At that moment, Vision noticed a car nearby with its headlights still on. Inside was Agnes. She wasn't moving. Vision used the Mind Stone to wake her up.
Am I dead?
No, no. Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Because I'm what?
Dead. 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 Dead!
Seeing Agnes completely lose control, Vision quickly changed her back to normal. And that's when Vision understood only one person could be behind all this. Me. He came home and demanded the truth, but I denied everything.
Stop lying to me! I can't remember my life before Westview. I don't know who I am. I'm scared.
You are my husband. You're Tommy and Billy's father. Isn't that enough?
In order to uncover the truth himself, Vision decided to leave Westview. However, the entire town was surrounded by a massive energy wall. He used all his strength to force his way through it, not knowing that on the other side, a large number of S-Ward soldiers were already waiting. The moment Vision crossed the barrier, his body began to fall apart.
The people need us!
At the same time, my son inside Westview sensed what was happening. He felt his father's life rapidly fading away. The two children immediately ran to find me and told me everything. To save my husband, I released my chaos magic. As it expanded, the size of the town grew to hundreds of times its original scale. Not only was the critically injured Vision pulled back inside, but the entire S-Ward operation was swallowed as well. Some agents turned into clowns. Others became circus performers. Only Hayward escaped. As for me, I completely collapsed from exhaustion for 3 days and 3 nights. When I finally woke up, I noticed something was wrong. The furniture I had created kept changing its shape non-stop. After struggling to restore everything to normal, I suddenly realized something even worse. My children were gone. I immediately rushed into the basement to search for them. That's when I saw it. The doorway was covered in twisted, unnatural vines. As I continued deeper underground, the scene before me became increasingly horrifying. Strange symbols covered the ceiling. And when I looked closely, I saw an ancient spellbook lying on the table. It was obvious. Someone had been manipulating everything from behind the scenes.
Wanda. You didn't think you were the only magical girl in town, did you?
It was her, my good neighbor Agnes. I was completely stunned by what I was seeing.
The name's Agatha Harkness. Lovely to finally meet you, dear.
Turns out Agnes's real name was Agatha, and she was a witch all along. Years ago, she secretly practiced dark magic and was captured by a witch's coven. Even though she admitted her mistakes, the coven leader, her own mother, showed no mercy. With a single command, the witches unleashed their magic and aimed it directly at Agatha. As she screamed in pain, her mother joined the attack herself. Left with no choice, Agatha finally fought back. She summoned dark magic in her hands and with a single motion, defeated all the witches. But her mother still refused to give up. She summoned the witch's crown and unleashed her most powerful spell against her own daughter. This time, Agatha showed no mercy. In just one exchange, she drained her mother into a lifeless corpse. Before leaving, she took the necklace from her mother's chest, a symbol of the most powerful witch. However, everything changed when she encountered me at my peak. I could control thousands of town residents at once. I could turn entire buildings into relics from past eras. And that was Agatha's true purpose. She wanted to trade my children for the Scarlet Witch's power inside my body.
I know what you are.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
You have no idea how dangerous you are. You're supposed to be a myth, a being capable of spontaneous creation.
Let go of my children.
My name is Wanda. I am the Scarlet Witch, the one who wields chaos magic. To steal my power, Agatha controlled my children. They tried to escape, but she slammed them hard to the ground. Seeing my children hurt, I attacked immediately. My chaos magic knocked Agatha down.
Go to your room.
No way, we're staying with you.
Listen to your mother, boys!
Now!
But just as I was about to finish her, something went wrong. My magic was trapped in Agatha's hand. My palm began to rapidly age. That's when I realized the truth. With dark magic, as long as she touches an attack, She can absorb the energy and make it her own. Knowing brute force wouldn't work, I changed tactics. I secretly controlled a car from behind and smashed her straight into the ground, but when I walked up, she was already gone. As I stood up in disappointment, Vision suddenly appeared behind me. He had a brand new body, and I could feel he was real. Seeing the man I missed every day, I froze. But the next second, White Vision grabbed my head and lifted me into the air.
And I was told you were powerful.
At the critical moment, Vision arrived. He slammed White Vision to the ground and kicked him into a gas tank. The explosion shot into the sky, but to a vibranium body, it was nothing more than a scratch. The two Visions fought again. Vision tried to reason with, but White Vision went straight for the kill every time. Using the Mind Stone, Vision phased his body, restrained White Vision, and smashed him hard into the ground. Meanwhile, I was attacked again by Agatha. To completely break me, Agatha summoned the Darkhold. She released magic and freed all the controlled civilians. In an instant, they surrounded, accusing me of committing unforgivable crimes. Under the pressure, I lost control. Chaos magic erupted, and I began choking everyone around me. They were seconds from death. At the last moment, I regained my senses and canceled the spell. Only then did I realize how much harm I had caused. Manipulated by Agatha, I tore apart the reality I created. At the same time, Vision was still fighting his clone. White Vision fired lasers as they battled from the ground into the sky. They both unleashed a final attack. As the Hex collapsed, Vision, already at a disadvantage, was blasted away and crashed onto the street. Because they were created by the Hex, as it disappeared, their bodies began to decay.
Now do you see? You tied your family to this twisted world, and now one can't exist without the other. Save Westview or save your family.
Watching my husband and children suffer, I made a painful choice. I restored the Hex, pulling my family back from the edge of death. We were reunited, but suddenly, Agatha attacked from behind. I raised a shield to counter, but this gave her another chance to drain most of my chaos magic. My hand turned black. Now we were surrounded. Agatha, White Vision, and SW Ord, who entered as the Hex weakened. They completely surrounded the square. We were trapped, enemies on every side. There was no time to explain. Vision fought White Vision again, from the streets into a museum. With the barrier fading, he was clearly losing. He phased downward to escape and grabbed White Vision from behind, but the clone phased too and slipped away easily. The fight reached a stalemate. White Vision said he was created for one purpose, to destroy Vision, but Vision revealed the truth. He wasn't the real Vision, just a projection of the Hex. He didn't truly exist. White Vision, however, was built from Vision's real body. What he lacked was memory. When Vision touched him, those memories returned. Everything came back at once. White Vision finally remembered who he truly was, and the life he once shared with me.
I am Vision.
After his memories returned, he felt nothing but sadness. Then he flew straight up into the sky and left.
Same story, different century. There will always be torches and pitchforks for ladies like us, Wanda.
Boys, handle the military. Mommy will be right back.
My children inherited my powers. With a single wave, my son froze hundreds of soldiers in place. Even bullets flying at full speed were easily caught, then tossed aside like nothing. And my younger son, Tommy, his power is even more unstoppable. Because his uncle is the speedster hero Quicksilver, Tommy moves at lightning speed, just like the Flash. Not long after escaping the battle, Vision reunited with our two sons. But Agatha, hiding in the shadows, was still planning a sneak attack. What she didn't realize was that I was already standing right behind her. I cast my magic, pulling her into a vision from childhood, the very place where the Witch Coven once tried to execute her. But when she saw the terrifying, drained corpses on the ground, Agatha wasn't scared at all. Instead, a strange smile crept across her face. Because chaos magic, the power I wield, is something every witch desires. Even after being dead for over 500 years, those witches still couldn't resist it. They bound me tightly to the judgment platform.
You can't win, Wanda. Power isn't your problem, it's knowledge.
But at that critical moment, I finally awakened the witch's crown. With a single push, an overwhelming wave of chaos energy sent every corpse flying. I then lunged forward and knocked Agatha straight out of the illusion. What followed was the ultimate showdown between the strongest witches. The entire sky turned crimson. We launched spell after spell at each other, but every time I attacked, part of my power was absorbed by Agatha. My life force began to fade. Even so, I refused to stop. Seeing how dangerous it was, Vision tried to step in, but I stopped him. After absorbing the final surge of energy, Agatha prepared to deliver the killing blow. But suddenly, her spell failed. Before she could understand what happened, she saw my body fully restored. Because the truth was, I was never attacking her. I was casting forbidden runes around us. A spell where only the caster can use magic inside the barrier. By the time she realized the trap, it was already too late. Without hesitation, I summoned the crown once more. As the Scarlet Witch returned to this world, I reclaimed my chaos magic complete. Agatha was left powerless. As punishment for her interference, I trapped her inside the illusion forever. Then I returned home with my family. I gently put my children to sleep, then went downstairs to say goodbye to Vision one last time.
So long, darling.
As the barrier around the town faded away, Vision turned into starlight and vanished before my eyes. Finally, I left Westview behind and chose a quiet, remote village to live in solitude. But what no one expected, high above the rooftop, a crimson shadow of the Scarlet Witch was secretly studying dark magic.
Defensive positions! Now!
All this for a child you met yesterday.
Wanda, you are justifiably angry. You had to make terrible sacrifices.
I blew a hole through the head of the man I loved. And it meant nothing. Do not speak to me of sacrifice, Stephen Strange.
My name is Wanda. I am Vision's wife. For the sake of winning the final battle, I once chose to end the life of the man I loved with my own hands. But in the end, I was left with nothing. Now, my only wish is to be reunited with my 2 children. To make Stephen hand over the girl, I offered him a highly tempting deal.
If you give me what I want, I'll send you to a world where you can be with Christine.
The full might of Kamar-Taj stands against you.
But Stephen was not swayed. He still refused. Since words couldn't convince him, I had no choice but to break in by force. I unleashed powerful magic, trying to suppress everything with absolute strength. But Kamar-Taj's defense system was like an impenetrable fortress. Every attack was blocked, and I couldn't break through. Facing the stalemate, I immediately changed my strategy. I used mind control, accurately targeting a trainee's fear. Once fear took over, the student panicked and ran wild, completely disrupting the formation. A fatal flaw appeared in the defenses. I seized the moment and broke through the barrier. From that point on, there was no resistance. My attacks only grew stronger. This ancient sanctuary, built on centuries of faith and hope, collapsed under my overwhelming power. Seeing there was no chance of victory, Stephen ordered everyone to retreat back into the fortress. Wong was unwilling, but powerless to stop it. Still, I did not stop. Before long, this 1,000-year-old holy site was reduced to ruins by my assault. I walked calmly past the fallen sorcerers. Then I stopped in front of a building. Standing in my way was my former ally, Stephen.
You want the girl, you'll have to go through me.
Fine.
I quickly realized I had been drawn into the mirror dimension. The world around me began to spin violently, and Stephen disappeared. When everything stopped, I stepped forward and realized I was completely trapped. No matter which direction I moved, all I could see were reflections of myself. Suddenly, the mirror space began to shatter. Countless sharp fragments closed in around me, locking me in place. I activated chaos magic, but in this dimension, all energy was reflected back. Outside, the sorcerers believed they had successfully trapped me. They were even celebrating. What they didn't know was that I had already found a way to break free. Suddenly, all passages were sealed, and the remaining sorcerers disappeared one after another. Realizing something was wrong, Stephen ordered everyone to cover all reflective surfaces, but it was already too late. A terrifying hand suddenly stretched out from the center of a bronze mirror. As everyone froze in fear, a zombie-like version of me crawled out.
You gave all those lives just to keep me from my children.
You took those lives. You cannot be allowed to cross into the multiverse.
I'm not a monster, Stephen. I'm a mother.
I used magic and told Stephen about my suffering.
Every night. The same dream. And every morning. The same nightmare.
Once again, I urged him to hand over America. Stephen responded by summoning 8 dark dragons to stop and ordered Wong to take America and leave. But with a single move, I shattered all 8 dragons. I rose into the air, and before America's terrified eyes, slammed Stephen into a pillar. He was knocked unconscious. America panicked and was quickly captured by me. Wong immediately attacked with a magical gear, but I blocked it with one hand and sent him flying back. He hit the ground and lost consciousness. I pushed chaos magic to its limit and began forcibly forcibly extracting America's power. At that moment, Stephen woke up. He saw distorted timelines forming in her eyes. A star-shaped portal opened behind him. America was about to collapse. Ignoring my attacks, Stephen grabbed her and jumped into the portal, traveling across the multiverse and escaping my pursuit.
Oh, hurry, she's coming! Oh no.
My name is Wanda, is the Scarlet Witch who controls chaos magic. While studying the Darkhold, I discovered something terrifying. This world isn't unique. There are countless parallel universes, and in the neighboring Earth 838, my 2 children are still alive. At that moment, a thought I couldn't stop started growing inside me. I had to be with them again. That's when I noticed a girl named America. She has the power to travel freely across the multiverse. So I opened the Darkhold without hesitation, summoned monsters from other universes, and tried to capture America, planning to use her power to reach Earth 838 and finally live a happy life with my children. But things didn't go as planned. America was rescued in time by Doctor Strange and sealed inside a special glass chamber that completely blocked magical detection. If that's the case, I decided to take matters into my own hands. Using dreamwalking, I projected my soul into Earth 838. Professor X immediately realized that what I was doing would break the balance of the multiverse, so he gathered the Illuminati to stop, but they had no idea what they were facing.
Wanda, Black Bolt could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
What mouth?
After watching his teammates die, Mr. Fantastic attacked first, trying to restrain me with his abilities. I ripped him apart with chaos magic. His body stretched and tore like noodles. Captain Carter and Captain Marvel joined forces to fight, but no matter how hard they tried, they never gained the advantage. You should know that at this moment, I was nothing more than a dream-walked body. My real body was still at the altar in Earth 616, and yet even so, Captain Marvel, the so-called ceiling of multiversal combat power, was blasted hundreds of meters away by a single careless strike from me. Captain Carter tried to launch a sneak attack using smoke, but in front of someone who could rewrite reality at will, such tactics were laughably naive.
Haven't you had enough?
Oh, I could do this all day.
I caught the shield mid-air, swung it back without hesitation, and sliced her clean in half. At that moment, Captain Marvel burst out of the wall again, unleashing massive cosmic energy for one final attack. But she underestimated chaos magic. In just a few exchanges, I drained all her power, slammed her body into the statue behind her. Before she could even stand up, I levitated massive stones through the air, personally ended her life. Finally, I found America. As I slowly stepped closer, the fear unlocked her full potential. She threw a desperate punch, cracking the reinforced glass chamber. But it still wasn't enough. Just as everything was about to end, Professor X arrived in time. He managed to control my mind and entered my subconscious, where he found the possessed yet still kind version of Wanda. As long as he could free her, he could force my soul back into Earth 616. But once again, he underestimated. The next second, I appeared behind him like a ghost. Before he could react, I snapped his neck. When I finally regained awareness, I realized Christine had already escaped with America.
Go, 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 go!
My name is Wanda, is the Scarlet Witch who possesses chaos magic. How could these steel gates possibly stop? I caught up to them very quickly. In desperation, Stephen slammed his palm onto the ground. The powerful energy shattered the water pipes. A massive flood burst through the tunnel and poured down over my head.
Did you kill her?
No, just bought us some time.
Stephen knew that if he wanted to truly defeat me, there was only one option left. He had to find the supreme magic artifact, the Book of the Vishanti. The three of them ran as fast as they could. At the end of the tunnel, they finally found the gate where the Book of the Vishanti was sealed. Stephen immediately began chanting, using magic to force the door open. This place existed at the intersection between two universes. Above the platform stood the Book of the Vishanti. Stephen quickly jumped down, carefully grabbing the sacred book. But before he could even read it, I appeared like a ghost. I grabbed America. Seeing this, Stephen hurriedly cast spells trying to save her, but in the end, he was no match for me. In the chaos, the Book of the Vishanti was destroyed. Then I controlled America's mind and forced her to open a portal. I threw Christine and Stephen into it and took America with me back to Earth 616. I planned to begin absorbing America's power, As we left, the Wanda of Earth 838 gradually regained her sanity. The first thing she did after waking up was run out to search for her 2 children. As for Stephen, his situation was far worse. They were sent to a universe filled with danger. In this universe, another Doctor Strange had studied the Darkhold. He had gone completely insane, hunting down versions of himself across the multiverse. His only goal was to be with Christine. In the end, his madness caused the collapse of the entire universe. When he met Stephen, the Dark Doctor quickly confessed his crimes, his heart filled with anger. The Doctor from the main universe faced the version of himself before him. He had no way to retreat. He couldn't avoid this fated battle. Magic intertwined, space twisted and warped. On top of the skyscraper, energy flashed like lightning. The two of them engaged in a life or death duel. In the end, the Doctor from the main universe emerged victorious. Without hesitation, he threw the Dark Doctor off the top of the building. Metal railings pierced through his body like sharp blades. Just when everyone thought the Dark Doctor was dead, Christine downstairs saw something terrifying.
This isn't what your children would want.
They'll never know.
As long as I absorb all the power inside America, I can open the door to the multiverse and reunite with my children once again. Stephen saw everything through the Darkhold. To stop me from opening the multiverse, he quickly came up with a counterplan. He chose to break the rules. Using the Darkhold's power, he decided to possess another version of himself, returned to Universe 616 as fast as possible, and left Christine behind to guard his physical body. Stephen opened the Darkhold and successfully possessed the already decaying corpse of Defender Strange from Universe 616. He struggled his way out from a pile of bricks, then used the sling ring to open a portal to Mount Wundagore. But possessing a corpse violated the Darkhold's laws, and as a result, he drew the furious attack of the undead. These spirits entered the universe of his physical body through Stephen's eyes. Fortunately, Christine was inside the sanctum. Using weapons specifically designed to deal with the undead, she helped Stephen survive the crisis. With Christine's assistance, Stephen absorbed all the troublesome spirits instead. Then he rushed toward me like an arrow released from a bow. The monsters guarding me tried to intercept him, but Wong reacted instantly. He threw a flying blade and killed one of them on the spot. Soon after, Stephen arrived. With a powerful strike, he knocked the remaining guards off the cliff.
Sweet!
When I realized Stephen was also using the Darkhold, I was overwhelmed with rage. I condemned him as a complete hypocrite. Stephen didn't care.
This time it's gonna take more than killing me to kill me.
He and Wong worked together and temporarily trapped me inside a magical cage. But this was only a stopgap measure. With my power, I could break free at any moment. With just the two of them, they could never truly defeat. At that moment, America remembered what Defender Strange once told her. Only by fully embracing her own power could she have the greatest chance of winning. After a brief hesitation, she made her decision. She offered to let Stephen absorb her power, but Stephen refused. Instead, he encouraged America to believe in herself. He told her that the things she experienced in the past should never define her entire life. Encouraged by his words, America slowly regained her confidence. Just then, I broke free from my restraints. I struck quickly, knocking Stephen to the ground. Then I cast a spell that began to corrupt his body. Seeing the situation turn critical, America opened a portal, trying to send me into another chaotic universe, but her power was still unstable. I grabbed her by the throat. Without hesitation, America changed her strategy. She opened a portal to Universe 838, forcing me to see a world where a mother and her children lived together in peace.
What have you done? Why? Wait, boys. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm your mother.
I was shaken. In a moment of emotional collapse, I struck the kind version of myself in that universe and rushed toward the children I had longed for. But instead of joy, they were terrified. In their eyes, I had become a horrifying intruder. They could never understand how much I had sacrificed just to be reunited with them. All they felt was fear. Seeing the children I missed every day now terrified of, my heart was pierced like a blade. Only then did I finally realize everything I had done, everything I had sacrificed, had led to this outcome. This was nothing like the ending I had imagined. From the very beginning, all I ever wanted was the warmth of a family and to be together at last. But one wrong step led to another. At this moment, completely disheartened, I finally chose to let go of my obsession. I no longer desired anything. My only wish was for my children to live safely and happily.
America could be loved.
America achieved her goal, because sometimes redemption is more meaningful than killing. We returned together to Universe 616. To atone for my sins, I made my final decision. I destroyed Mount Wundagore. In an instant, the Darkhold's evil power collapsed with it. As the mountain crumbled, I was buried beneath the endless ruins.